Hey everybody, how are you? It's your friend Rabbi Bregman checking in. I'm on the road, but that definitely is no excuse to not learn some Torah, share some wisdom with everybody. So wanted to check in with you. From the road, this week's Torah portion, it is called Torah portion Devarim. We're now beginning the fifth book of the Torah, the fifth of the 5 books of the Chumash of the Bible. So it's a good chance to delve in and see. I have for you over here a copy of my short and sweet on the Parsha, my book that I would share with you, an insight that I wrote here for your benefit. Okay, so let's learn this up, guys. In chapter 1, verse 5 of the book of Devarim, the book of Deuteronomy, the verse begins by saying, Moshe, that's Moses, began explaining this Torah. And what you find in the book of Deuteronomy, the 5th book of the Torah, as these are kind of Moshe's, that's Moses, just say it once, Moshe is Moses, Moshe's farewell speeches to the Jewish people at the end of his life. He's sharing wisdom, review of what had happened in the past, giving them direction into the future. That's what you'd expect. So it says over here in verse 5, Moshe began explaining this Torah. The word began is hayil in Hebrew, hayil. Okay. So the question I ask over here is, how can the Torah make the claim that Moshe only began explaining the Torah right now? Moshe had been in the Midbar, in the wilderness with the Jewish people now for 40 years. This is 40 years after the Jewish people left Egypt and got the Torah Mount Sinai through Moses. So what does it mean he only began explaining the Torah over here? Like, what does it mean he began? He's been doing it all along. What does that mean? You have to understand. So the Imrei Emes was the 3rd Ger Rebbe of the Hasidic dynasty, the Ger Rebbe. He's the son of the Sfas Emes. So the Imrei Emes says that the point being made over here is about the vastness of Torah. And I write that even if you spent the last 40 years teaching Torah day and night, there is so much to know, and the wisdom of God is so vast that it'll only seem as if you've just begun to do so. So that's what the Imrei Emes says. It's a point here about the vastness of Torah, why it says Moshe began. It's not literally began, it's like it could feel as if he began. That's number one. Now the Shlomo HaKadosh, who lived a few hundred years before the Imrei Emes, who was in the 1900s, makes a similar observation in reference to this book. He points out the word hayil, which means began over here. He points out that the letters, if you know Lashon HaKodesh, Hebrew, the Holy Tongue, the letters are Hey, Vav, Aleph, Yud, and Lamed. Why is that important? Why is that important? Because those are the same letters that spell the word, the name, actually in Hebrew, Eliyahu, Elijah, Eliyahu. Okay, so why is that important? Eliyahu, Elijah the prophet. What is the significance of this? So the Shlomo says this alludes to the idea that the process of teaching and learning and delving into and expounding and explaining the Torah, which began, Hayil, with Moshe, will continue on through the millennia, thousands of years of Jewish history, up until Eliyahu HaNavi, Elijah the prophet, returns to the world with the coming of the Messiah. Okay, so another point about the vastness of the Torah. I often tell my students and over the years and anyone with whom I learn that the Torah is huge. It is so vast. And even if you've been learning a few pages a day, a page of Talmud a day, a few Mishnahs a day, a book or two a year, it is so vast that even if you've been doing it for a long time and for years, many hours, God's wisdom, His vastness, the vastness of our Creator is so limitless that you could feel that you're almost getting nowhere. But that should never make you feel despondent or feel bad or feel low. To the contrary, it should actually make you stand in awe of our Creator. I sometimes look back on the years that I learned in Lakewood. I lived in Lakewood, New Jersey, which is a famous town of Torah study and kollel, for, let's say, almost 10 years of learning, almost full time. And there was years that I was learning 15 to 18 hours a day, about 360 days of the year. Okay, I mean, I'd go to synagogue and everything else, but pounding. I mean, I was doing it. And I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm no dummy. Okay, I got a good head. And I know how to take notes, and I'm an organized person. And sometimes the vastness of the Torah felt, and still feels to this day, even though I don't live in Lakewood right now, it still feels as though I am like going to the Atlantic Ocean with a cup, it's a nondescript paper cup, and trying to drink it. And even if I had 40 glasses, assuming the Atlantic Ocean was potable and wouldn't make a person sick, feels like you're getting nowhere. But you are getting somewhere. With each page you learn, with each word, with each letter, you're refining your soul. Hopefully you're finding lessons in there you can apply to your life, and if you'll do so, you'll climb the ladder of what we call Kedusha, holiness, okay? So anyway, don't ever feel overwhelmed with how much there is to know. Just look at that as something that makes you feel like you stand in awe of your Creator, and you only need to do the best you can in your lifetime with the time and resources and age you have to cover as much as you can. Anyway, that's a point that I bring in short and sweet on the Parsha. In the beginning, chapter 1, verse 5 of the book of Deuteronomy, which we're beginning in this week's Torah portion. For those of you who own a copy and you want to look up what I was saying inside, you can find it. It's right there. It's always right there, right? For those of you who look at it. Somebody sent me messages like, what page was that? Where were you coming from in there? I said, no problem. Over there was page 439, this 550-page book. If you'd like a copy, it's $36 for this massive Torah book, which is the size of 2. That $36 price, that includes shipping, USPS. That's if you're in the US. I'll get it to you in like a day or two. Sign it if you want. Include any inscription or blessing you want. Can't get it anywhere else but through me because we sold out from the publisher, Feldheim, worldwide, 2 years in a row. Can't help you unless I print out more. But in the meanwhile, I have the last remaining ones. Hope you learned a lot of Torah in this video. And I hope you will, you'll begin to go fulfill your massive potential. Because even if you already began, begin again new. Fresh. Keep it fresh. Keep it fresh. Keep your Judaism fresh. Spirituality fresh. Your hustle fresh. Your life. Come on. Reinvent yourselves. Go. Begin. Life is vast. Get on it. Bye, guys.